Okay, so you're clearly clicking on this video because you have a desire, you have a want, you have a need, you have a must to start an online business, and you are in Canada. If you are not, I'm sure you can still use the tips that you get here. You could obviously gonna have to alter it according to your country, but you probably are from Canada, and I'm really excited to have you here. We're gonna get into how to start a business online. A few easy tips that you can start right now and right away. Let's get into the video. Hello, Just Start gang. It's Chanique here from StartWithNique.com, the home of the Just Start University 101 mentorship program for you, new and aspiring Christian online entrepreneurs. So if you want to learn how to start a massive successful online business, then be sure to subscribe to my channel, or you could also follow me on Instagram. All right, I know you're really eager to go and start a business online, but I just want to make it very clear certain things that you want to know before you start. Even if you just started, you haven't started before, or you've been starting for a few months or even a few years, there are certain things that you may not know that I had to find out later on in my business, and certain things that you may find online that is a must to do. But from my experience, which all my videos are from my experience, I am not a professional, so you can definitely ask me questions, but just know that there's something that I do not know according to my own experience. I'll definitely let you know to go ahead and contact professionals, or also contact the government of Canada, because they'll obviously give you more of clear and defined instruction on how to start our business online. But this video, you're gonna get my personal experience, you're gonna get what I did to start my online business, both online, and I also give you some experience with my current cleaning business as well, as a sole proprietor, and just recently became incorporated, and we'll get in that. And then in this video, I'm going to give you all those 5 very clear steps that you really want to go ahead and explore as you start your online business as a Canadian. And if you've already established, these are some things that you may not know as well. So be sure to stick to the end so you're very clear as to what your next steps will be, and to avoid any mistakes or any legal issues that you may or will get into if you don't correct right now. So the first step, the first thing you want to know when starting an online business in Canada is that you can totally do it. There is nothing stopping you but yourself. Canada is such a very welcoming country for anyone, down to an immigrant, to who's been here for years, who, you know, Canada is just very loving and open, and they will find a way for you to make an income as a business owner, obviously, because it generates for the economy. So there's so many different things that you can do to start right now and start a online business. There's grants, there are, you know, different networking groups, there are community centers, the YMCA, certain nonprofit organizations are definitely here to help you as well. So just know, step 1 is that you can start, and you should start right now. You just call yourself a business owner, okay? You don't need to go through all the steps before you are officially a business owner. Once you place in yourself, place in your mind that you are who you are, you're it. No one can take that from you. Obviously, once you make your first sale, then you're in business, but tell yourself you are a business owner. You do have a product or service that people want, and you just place that inside you, and everything will just come to place. But number 1, just know you can start right now. Start right now. Canada's a great country to help you out and support you, whether it be loans or grants. Just know you can start right now. This is a huge question that I've gotten on these 2 videos. This one is how to register with the CRA. Please forgive me for the mix-up in the video. Again, I let you know that this is my personal experience. So this one is to register with the CRA, which you don't necessarily have to do right now unless you are registering for HST number. And then this one is how to register for a master business license, which is your bare minimum. Depends on when you want to register, okay? So step number 2 is determining when and how to register your business. So I'm going to be very honest. This is my experience now. I'm not a legal attorney. I'm not, you know, part of the government. And this is probably not the best advice. I'm going to be very real with you. Is that I did not register my business until a few months in. I wanted to determine if this was what I wanted to do, if I was sold out for it, if there was even a need. I didn't want to register a business and waste $60. However, I didn't take too long to register. And while I was not registered, I still kept my receipts because I know that when I get registered, or, you know, I don't know what's going to happen next few months, how much I'll make in profit or income, just to make sure that I'm covered as I save my receipts, all my invoices with my customers, that in that time period, if I ever were audited, or if I did want to write off a few of my expenses, that it was tracked. So it could be backtracked and I give it to my accountant, and whatever my accountant can do, then it can do. If they can't, then they can't. Again, that is my experience. So I did not register my business right away when it came to my online business, okay? So when you have a local business, that's another video in itself, but right now we're going to focus on online. I didn't register my coaching business for a while, and then when I did, I registered as a sole proprietor for a few months. Again, I'm not a professional, and you can find so many videos online to let you know what is a sole proprietor, what is a partnership, and what is a corporation. I did register as a sole proprietor first, mainly because it is a bigger expense when you are incorporating. All right, so just to get myself in the door, to get myself a business account, which you need a business license number. That's why I had to register for a sole proprietor minimum. Okay, so I have my business expenses in my business account. So doing the bare minimum that way. A few months later, I did incorporate it, mostly because I was getting into different platform. And when I am incorporated, when you are incorporated, you are less liable. You are two separate identity. Okay, so this is just the basic. As a sole proprietor, you are the business, and if anything happened, you can be sued. You as your personal assets, you can be sued, you could be penalized. It's just you. Once you are incorporated, you are two separate identities. You have your company, your corporation name, and then me. Therefore, I am the CEO and or the founder of this corporation. I am not the corporation. So if anyone wants to dispute or go against my corporation, they're going against the name, which I incorporate as Godly Boss Blog, and not even Start with Neeks, and that's a different story. But Godly Boss Blog, they have to deal with that. Lawyers and all that has to be involved. But my personal assets are protected. Let me know any questions in the comments if you want me to clarify why I did that. But just to summarize, step number 2 in registration is determining how you're going to register your business online. Is it going to be sole proprietorship, or is it going to be corporation? I'm not really going to focus on partnership, but if you're doing partnership, just know you really want to make sure you know who you're going into business with, and you may want to also look into lawyers as well, even if it's friends or family, especially if it's friends or family. But again, sole proprietorship, I got my feet wet. At first, maybe a couple of months I wasn't registered. I made sure there was a need. Then I went to sole proprietorship solely because of the money difference. It's $60 to get a business license, and for me, I invested $500 to incorporate my business. So that is up to you. However, the moment you notice that there is a future in what you're doing, that you definitely want to do this, or you notice that you're getting more customers, because you still want to protect yourself. Like you don't want to cheap out on protecting yourself, your assets. You don't want to cheap out on protecting others. You want to make sure that you're not going to be in a really tough situation. So eventually you do want to get yourself registered. From my personal experience, I didn't register right away. Okay. So number 3, I just want to get a little bit more deeper on the sole proprietorship and the corporation. I just want to emphasize that when you are online, you are exposed to so much more people. You have business worldwide now, okay? When you want to register your business, again, at first I've told people this, and because this is my personal experience, but I let you know that I am not a professional and I cannot be held liable in this video. You're choosing to use this advice by your own choice. So for my personal experience, as I sold online, so I used Etsy and I sold there for a few months. I wasn't registered and I did not have no incorporation or anything like that. So I did sell here and there, but it didn't stick. So that's why I kind of say like, see how it goes, because if I were to register in that name, it would have been a waste kind of thing. But within 3 months, I already knew that this was not going to be what I wanted to do, and I left that. However, being online, you are exposed to more people. So the moment you know that this is what you want to do, you literally made the decision, which I always suggest that you do make a huge decision. If you have a desire to sell fashion, if you have a desire to coach and consult, be a consultant, then choose 100% that that's what you want to do. Obviously, figure out the market, where you're going to go and all that stuff. But once you decide, then you want to make sure you're registered. And why you want to be incorporated then after, like the second tip that I already mentioned, I want to get back into that, I want to repeat it, is that it will definitely protect you that much more, because you are being exposed throughout people around the world, and they have different laws or everything like that. So you do want to make sure that you are two separate identities. I'm gonna stop saying that word. You want to make sure that you're two separate, so that if anything happens, it's just they're not coming attacking your personal asset. Especially if you have family and you started this with your savings and all that stuff. Just know, as you become bigger and you get more income and you get more exposure, start looking into a corporation and don't cheap yourself out of that, okay? For all my Canadians out there, I'm actually gonna put a link in the description box of the website that I incorporated. I didn't go the traditional route because I just don't have the time. And this is especially because it was during COVID. Things were closed down, so it would take so long, and I was developing an app and all that stuff. So I just went to this website. You guys check it down in the description box, and it was an extra $150 on top of the original price, but so helpful, okay? They don't even know I'm making this video. I should have affiliate link for that. But so helpful, so kind. I felt very at peace giving that extra $100 for the work that they're doing. And it's like within a few hours, you are incorporated, you are a CEO, you are a founder of a corporation, okay? Keep that in mind. When you're incorporated, you are protected that much more. And for write-offs and taxes, a huge benefit as well, but there's also a lot of extra stuff. Just know you're always gonna have to deal with the government and the laws and all that stuff, but just make sure you're educated. But corporation is a great way to go. Alrighty, so tip number 4, or step number 4, tip advice where you need to go, number 4, is to make sure you are tracking your income and that you know how fast you can grow in your business, okay? Someone who sells $7 items online, depending on how you set up your program and your systems, that may take a lot longer to reach your first 30,000 than someone who sells online courses at $400 a piece could obviously make that 30,000 a lot faster. Okay, so just know what your industry is, how fast you make that money, because then in Canada, the moment you make $30,000, you must now enroll for an HST number. Must. You cannot be making more than $30,000 in a quarter. Okay, so I personally, my experience, again, my advice, the moment I make $30,000, I will definitely go ahead and get an HST, because it's just gonna just boom from there. Just have that mindset. But technically it's $30,000 within 1 quarter. If you made $20,000 from January to March and then made $10,000 in November at the end of the year, then technically that is not 30,000 in 1 quarter. It's just 30,000 within your year. So you need to have 30,000 within 1 quarter. My best practice, and to keep myself sane, is at the moment I make 30,000, I'm definitely going to get an HST number. So right now I do not have an HST number. Therefore, I cannot charge taxes. So just the other day, a friend told me that one of her social peers or whoever, she's been charging taxes for her services and she doesn't have an HST number. So illegal. Like, you cannot do that. You can't do that. It's not even the only way I'm going to allow that, which the government will not allow that, and maybe hopefully officials don't contact me to give it up. If she is ignorant to the fact that there is so much trouble coming your way when you, I obviously love everyone to be successful, when you start making good amount of money per quarter and the CRA wants to audit you and finds out that you've been charging taxes oh, the amount of money that you're going to owe is crazy. Okay, so you cannot charge HST taxes if you do not have HST number. Okay, again, there's so many videos on YouTube that you can get more clarity on what HST is, what taxing is, and how that all works. But very, very basic, we as Canadian citizens, we must pay taxes. Okay, so whatever province you are, it depends on the province, according to the amount that will come out on your taxes. So when you charge a customer, they initially will be charged a tax. That tax, whether it be 13%, 15%, 7%, whatever it is, that is the government. You do not own that, okay? So the only mistake that I feel like this person may be thinking is that if I charge taxes, I get more money. That is not your money. It is the government's money. So if you are charging tax, that should be directly out of your way. That's not yours. That's the government. That is for your free healthcare. That is for the roads being built. That is for all that stuff, okay? Welfare, all those things that this country has given us. That is what the tax is for, all right? So you need to put that aside. If you are not eligible to charge HST, which you can definitely charge HST if you have that number at any point. Like if you want to start today and you want to say, I want to charge taxes, you can sign up for the CRA and you can get a HST number. It's just a lot more work, but it's a good and a bad thing. I personally, right now, I don't want to go through that right now, so I'm not charging taxes. Whatever you want to do, whether you want to wait to the first 30,000 in a quarter or you want to do it right now, you just cannot charge taxes unless you have that number. The government needs to know that you are registered with the CRA so they can track how much taxes you basically have to pay. If you are not charging HST like I am, I have to put aside that 15%. Right? So I still have to pay taxes. Everyone has to pay taxes. So when I charge my customer, it's a flat rate, but I still have to pay taxes. So the government is going to still tell me that if I charge my customer $100 and if my province is a 13% tax rate, then I still have to put aside $13 for the government. Okay? So if you are someone out there thinking that I'm supposed to charge HST, it makes my business look legitimate, but you do not have a HST number, you are making a huge mistake. And what you want to do is go back to all those invoices, save them, calculate the taxes, because you are going to have to pay that back. And again, it all depends if you're registered and all that, but I'm hoping and praying that you become successful and you don't want the CRA to do an audit and backtrack all your invoices prior to, and you just get shot down, okay, with a lot of money, okay? Whatever you do, get more information on whether or not you want to charge taxes and how to put aside your taxes, because we are Canadian citizens and we need to pay our taxes. My huge advice, and this is, I'm going through this right now. I don't know if some of you may not know. If you're new here, please subscribe. But I've been in my coaching business for just over a year now. Officially, I've been coaching, just giving advice and, learning about social media marketing for years and in management for years. But officially, I've been in business registered for a year now. And the more you make more money, more problems, but you're just gonna have to make the investment, because if you want to expand, you just have to cover yourself, cover your expenses, your liability, make sure that you're creating a great experience for your customers as well, and making sure that they're covered as well. So the fifth advice is to make sure you have the right people behind you. And what does that look like? Making sure that you have financial advisors, all right? So as you grow your business and you're dealing with prices that are, most of us, especially coming from a full-time job, we weren't seeing that much money. And if you were, you're still expecting to make more in your business. So you may have not had a financial advisor. You may not have had a budget or a sales tracker, all that stuff. You need to start looking into that, because you cannot be the same person starting a business. You can't be the same person you were as an employee, as a CEO. That's not going to work out, and you're not going to go far. You're gonna evolve, and that's great. There's growing pains to it, but you want to look for a financial advisor. All banks, especially when you open up for your business account. So by the time you get to this step 5, you should have already known that this is the business you want. You should already know if you're a sole proprietor, whether you are going to stay as a sole proprietor or you're going to go right into a corporation. You should know, you don't really need to know if you're going to charge HST or not right away, but just know you cannot charge HST without an HST number. So when you get to this step of getting a financial advisor, when you do register for your business account, that person is usually a financial advisor, and you could choose that person to start with. The more you make more income, I suggest to get someone who's more professional, someone you actually want to build a partnership with, because this is someone that is going to be managing your money. So if you don't like this person or you don't trust this person, for them to be taking the time to make sure that your money is managed correctly and it's placed in the right places, if you want to think about investments as well, then you want to find a financial advisor that will do so. So whether you stay with that bank and you find a financial advisor in that institute, or you go ahead and look for freelancers or other companies that would provide that service. The next person that you want to look for is a lawyer. When you become incorporated, for me, my experience, I personally do not have a lawyer right now because I'm looking for the right accountant, especially before tax season. So a lawyer is very beneficial. The moment you want to start making policies and procedures, start getting more exposure, you are on more platforms, you start doing more collaboration, you start working with subcontractors on higher scales, then you want to make sure you have a lawyer. When you start doing trademarks, you want to do copywriting on a higher scale, then you want to make sure you have a lawyer. Okay, so thinking about a lawyer. Really expensive. So obviously if you're not making $30,000 yet, you don't want to worry about lawyers right away, but it's something that you definitely have to consider as you scale up your business. The next person that you want to figure out is a coach or a mentor. So if you want to grow in your business, you want to learn from someone who knows how to grow in a business, right? Most of you are coming from a full-time job, and you are starting this for the first time. So if you think that you're going to be on YouTube and piece together how to make a multi-million-dollar company or your first 100K online, it's not going to work by yourself at all. And even if you did by fluke, by the time you make your first 100K, you will lose that faster than anything else because you haven't learned from someone who's made the mistakes, you haven't had someone guide you, you haven't learned the traits, the character, the skills to get to the next 100K. So you want to make sure that you are always being mentored and coached by a physical person. Someone on YouTube is not going to be your mentor or know your coach. So you want to be in a group, a mastermind. You want to hire a mentor like myself. It doesn't have to be an expert in your industry, but someone who has the results, or just personable that you trust and you want to learn from, or you want them to teach you and help you get to the next level. Make sure you have a coach or a mentor. And the next person that you want to make sure that you have, I mentioned briefly, is an accountant. So as fast as possible, look for an accountant, but you're going to definitely need one by the time it's tax season. If you're incorporated, whatever month or season you made your tax season for that corporation, then you want to make sure you have your accountant for that. But because you are a sole proprietor, the way you did taxes before, like H&R Block or TaxBot or whatever those online programs are, it's not going to work. And you just want to make sure you did everything correctly, because if you make a mistake this year, it could really affect you the year after when you file for your taxes again. So accountants are expensive, but if you want to start a business online, you have to understand right off the bat, there's going to be expenses. Don't make it scare you away, because you're going to push, you're going to get yourself out there, you're going to make the sales. It's a great investment, you cover yourself, and if you have a great accountant, they will help you save on taxes, okay? So get yourself a good accountant, whether it be from referrals. Shop around, because you are hiring this person, okay? Just know that every person that I mentioned, you are hiring them and you have a choice to work with them, right? They obviously are the experts, but you are going to choose them for a reason. You may like them, you may have a referral. So don't just go to anybody and just throw your money anywhere. Take your time and make sure that, because again, this is your baby, this is your business, this is your money, and you want to make sure that person that you're working with gets you, that understands you, that wants to see you thrive, that wants you to save, that wants you to be protected. So be sure that you are hiring people that are on the same page as you, that's really there for you and down for you, okay? So the sixth step or advice of starting a business online as a Canadian is to determine whether you're going to have employees or not. This is my personal opinion, and this is something that my mentor also suggested, and I definitely see why. Especially for a solopreneur, you want to have less employees as possible under your first 100K. And that may look different for your lifestyle, okay? So if you are a single woman like myself, that I may have more time to do things by myself. But if you are a single mother, or if you are a mother of 5, and you take care of your elderly parents, then you're gonna probably want more help, right? I still suggest less employees at first. Get subcontractors, get freelancers. There's so many virtual assistants that are out there to help you to avoid actually hiring an employee for now, because it's also going to save you on the whole benefits and all that stuff, and hiring and being whatever employment laws you have in your country. Especially starting out, you want to minimize that until you can afford those lawyers, so you're making contracts correctly for employees, that you have your accountant, that you are making sure that you're taxing out your employees correctly, and that there's something that's going to track your employee records. So that's what comes with having an employee. So when you have subcontractors, when you have freelancers, there's so many different softwares, there's so many different platforms that provide services that you can get graphics, you could get video editors, virtual assistants online without actually having to hire them as an employee, but just subcontract them for the year, for a couple of months, whatever that looks like to you. So my biggest suggestion when you're starting out is to avoid thinking about employees until you're pretty established, you're covered with your liabilities, that you're incorporated. I definitely highlight that you're incorporated by the time you get employees. You're looking for subcontractors, and you're looking for freelancers, and you're looking for other alternative than an employee. And you can get a lot of these things without having an employee, but eventually you do want to have employees as you grow in your corporation. 7 is to always keep track of your expenses, your income coming in, your invoices. Just have it all. Like, I'm so paranoid with this. I keep every receipt. My situation is a little different because I have been incorporated, but I'm also subcontracted outside my corporation. So I keep my receipts for everything, because eventually when I get to my accountant, sorry accountant for whoever's going to take over my account, because I am not a professional. They are, so I'm gonna just throw all my receipts and let them know my invoices and like, hey, do your job, because I know I'm paying you good money for this. But you want to keep track of everything, because the moment, especially once you become incorporated, CRA is on you. Okay, they want their taxes and they want to make sure that you're doing things correctly. And there's, again, when you have a good accountant, they will make sure they'll do the best they can to help you keep as much money and that the government doesn't suck you dry, basically. Just make sure you have that all tracked, your invoices, especially if you're working with people, you're a freelancer, you provide services, especially overseas. Just make sure everything is documented and you have contracts done. Just have everything. I am not the most organized person, but I know that everything is kept somewhere and I'll find it when I need it. But be as organized as you can. Keep track of your income, because you want to make sure that you don't hit your $30,000 without knowing, and you're going over the $30,000 and you haven't registered for HST. They do have a grace period, but just cover yourself and make sure that everything's tracked and you're tracked of their income. How would you know you hit your income goals if you do not have a clue of how much you're making in that month or that week or that day? Okay, so be sure that everything is tracked, all invoices. Obviously cash could be hidden under the rug, no one needs to know that. And please don't charge taxes on cash if you don't have an HST number. All right, and this is my last nugget, and the reason why it's actually last is because literally before I made this video I implemented it. Yeah, that's my moment of vulnerability and truth. It's having your terms and conditions written out. Private policy written, it's having your cookie terms depending on what country you are. You need to have that depending on country, but because you're online, you might as well have that. Most websites does have the opt-in to make sure that you have the cookie policy for that host. So just use that. But if you are going to use maybe affiliate links, having some kind of term or condition on your website, terms of service on your website, because it's going to help you a lot. You want to protect yourself by the shipping. If is it going to be who's liable if the shipment is lost? Who's liable if the customer put the wrong address? So you want to make sure that there's a terms and condition on your website. So when people go on your website, the moment they shop, they've already kind of opted into that term or condition. So if they ever want to come for you because there's a missing shipment and they want you to refund them, they can know, actually, according to my terms and conditions, that is not something that I'm liable for. You're going to have to deal with that with your mailing providers, okay? I don't suggest that you copy and paste someone else's terms or condition, because that's also a part of their terms and conditions. So if their terms and condition is everything on their website is trademarked or copywritten, if you copy and paste their terms and condition and they find out, which I know someone who has had that happen, the person called them out on it and they could have been sued. They couldn't have served them, and you don't want to be served, all right, for terms and conditions. So the link in the description box is literally the easiest way for me without a lawyer right now, okay? So it depends on how liable the products that you serve or the service that you provide, how liable it is, then you want to consider getting a lawyer. But it's been a year for me in my business and I've worked with a few clients. So where I am right now, I'm not totally concerned about bringing in a lawyer, but as I sell digital products and, go on a higher scale, I'll definitely be looking into a lawyer, especially when it comes to trademarking and all my content being digitalized and being shared out there. For you, in your case, Canadian online business owners, having terms and conditions, terms of service, disclaimers, especially if you are a content creator and you're sharing information that is your personal opinion and it's not actual, like you're not licensed, you don't have a doctorate and you're talking about medical treatment, all that stuff. You want to make sure you have a disclaimer letting them know that you are not a professional, and that if anything happens by using your tips or your advices, that they don't come to you and say it's because of your YouTube videos, because of the content in your blog, I did this and now I have hives. I don't know. So they cannot come and attack you or hold you accountable. Just make sure that you have that terms and condition. So the link, for the third time, the link in the description, it's like a online generator of making that. It's pretty affordable. You get it right away. You just plug in a few of your information and you have your own terms and condition. And I thought it was super helpful, so I had to add this to this video. Be sure to continue to message me, DM me on Instagram at StartWithNiques. I am totally open to help you out. But again, I'm not a professional. If I have to redirect you, just know I'm doing it out of love, and I want to make sure that you have the right information. So everything here is experience. Disclaimer, get it? So what I would love for you to do though is to subscribe to my channel if you want to continue to learn how to thrive as an online business on Instagram and steps to start a business. And be sure to check me out on startwithniques.com if you ever need a mentor to help you thrive. Get your first $1,000 online using Instagram, because I got that for you. In the meantime, be sure to watch these 2 videos before my next week's video, because I drop new videos every Friday. Keep sharing the good news and keep up the great work. I'll see you in my next video.